So here of course we have the box of the new iPhone 12, and as you can see it is a lot smaller and slimmer than previous iPhone boxes and of course most other phone boxes, and that's because Apple has infamously decided to stop including a charger brick and a pair of earphones with its phones. So we have of course a picture of the device itself. If you see here right at the back, Apple has said that the only thing inside the box is the iPhone 12 and the USB to Lightning cable. Power adapter and headphones will be sold separately. There's a few other specifications, but we'll go over that. The only other thing to note over here is that we have a blue version of this phone with 256 GB of storage. And that's all there is to see on the outside. So let's peel this plastic off. And then, lifting the lid, we get our first look of the phone itself right on top. So this is the new blue color, which is pretty deep and rich, as you can see. This phone is also available in black, white, green and product red. So let's peel off this protective layer here. You can see the power button on the side. We can turn that on. And while the phone is booting, let's look at the rest of the box contents, whatever little there is. Here of course we have a lightning cable, but Apple has now decided to include a Type-C cable, so that's a Type-C port on the other end, but there's no charger to plug it into. You'll have to use your own. Inside this little slip of cardboard, we have a SIM eject pin, the most basic paperwork, and one single Apple sticker. That's really all there is in the box. So let's quickly run through the setup process. And there we have it. We can see iOS 14 up and running on the new iPhone 12. So now let's get a closer look at the hardware itself and run through some of the specifications. Of course, what we see first is a relatively new design. Apple has gone with flat edges instead of the rounded ones that we've seen for many years now. The iPhone 12 is actually 15% smaller overall than the iPhone 11 and the XR, which were virtually identical in terms of looks. But we have the same dual camera module on the back. This is glass, which Apple says is toughened and reinforced. But as you can see, there's a slightly raised patch around the two camera lenses, and the lenses themselves are offset and raised again. The back is quite glossy and does pick up fingerprints. It's picked up quite a few smudges already in just a few minutes. And what's also interesting is that the front is completely flat. The screen glass does not extend over the edges and is not curved. So what we have here is a completely flat corner. We have a 6.1-inch screen, which is the same size as the iPhone 11 and the XR, but this time it is an OLED panel and it's much denser. It has a much higher resolution. We've also got HDR for the first time on a mainstream iPhone. The body is just 7.4 millimeters thin and it weighs 162 grams, which is also quite a bit lighter than the iPhone 11. Here on the bottom we've got a lightning port and a single speaker on one side. There's another speaker here, the earpiece doubles, so you do get stereo sound. You can of course see this enormous notch, which is now an iPhone exclusive thing as Android manufacturers have all moved on. You get the same array of hardware, including an infrared emitter and depth sensors to enable 3D face recognition. You have the volume buttons and a silent switch on the side. The power button, which also calls up Siri with a long press, on the right. And nothing